As you prepare to visit an active OGS construction site, it's important to review the following safety information to protect yourself and others while on site. Construction sites are dangerous places with potential hazards everywhere. Keeping you safe is OGS's top priority, so it's vital you pay attention and take this seriously. Furthermore, you must pass a knowledge check at the end of this video before you're permitted to enter the site. Access to all OGS job sites is restricted. Anyone who enters is required to take the necessary training and comply with OGS DNC safety policies, as well as any facility-specific access requirements. To gain entry as a visitor, you must do the following. Number 1. Secure prior approval. Before your arrival, you must secure prior approval from the project's director's representative. This individual is responsible for the management of the construction site and will serve as your point of contact. Number 2. Comply with COVID-19 guidelines. In response to the COVID-19 outbreak, please do not enter the field office when you get to the location. Instead, call the director's representative to announce your arrival. You will be asked to complete a health questionnaire, which you must complete to enter the job site. If entry to the field office is necessary, you must utilize soap and water or hand sanitizer containing at least 60% alcohol immediately upon entry. If it is unnecessary to enter the field office, the director's representative will meet you on the project site. It is advised that all visitors sanitize their hands prior to entering the work area. During your visit, you must maintain a social distance of 6 feet or more between yourself and others. You are required to wear a face covering for the duration of your visit, which is your responsibility to bring and utilize. You must avoid high-touch surfaces as much as possible and refrain from touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Also, it is encouraged you wash or sanitize your hands before you leave the job site. Number 3. Dress the part. You must arrive wearing long pants, a shirt with sleeves, and sturdy closed-toed footwear to keep you protected from potential hazards. In addition to the proper clothing, you will need to wear what we call personal protective equipment, also known as PPE. At a minimum, it's mandatory for you to wear a hard hat, safety glasses, and a safety vest. However, some work sites do require additional PPE, such as hearing protection or gloves. If these are required, you will be notified prior to your arrival. Your employer is responsible for supplying you with the necessary PPE, which you must bring along for your visit. Unfortunately, if you forget your PPE, OGS does not have any available on site for you to borrow. Now let's switch gears to discuss on-site hazards and safety protocol. Vehicular heavy equipment traffic. When you picture a construction site, oftentimes heavy equipment like bulldozers and excavators come to mind. Although these heavy-duty machines are responsible for lifting and moving bulky material, they can threaten the safety of their operators as well as bystanders. In fact, struck-by hazards are the second highest cause of fatalities among construction workers. Examples include falling material and loads, equipment operator blind spots, equipment tip or rollovers, and improperly parked equipment. To help avoid a potential accident, always keep clear of heavy equipment and give them the right of way. Maintain a safe distance from any piece of equipment in operation and never approach from the operator's blind spot. All heavy equipment is equipped with an audible backup alarm, while some also beep loudly when in motion. Pay attention to these alarms and move yourself to a safe location when needed. Before approaching or entering the vicinity of heavy equipment, make eye contact with the operator and observe his or her acknowledgement. By being vigilant, you can reduce your chances of falling victim to a struck-by hazard. Slips, trips, and falls. Slips, trips, and falls account for nearly 1/3 of reported injuries and 40% of fatalities on construction sites. Given these grave statistics, it's critical to be aware of your surroundings. Before walking through a passageway, ensure it's large enough for safe clearance and clear of any obstructions, such as cords or hoses. Look out for any holes, gaps, or openings that could cause you to trip or fall. If you find one, use caution and only approach if it has a covering or railing. It is advised to stay off hole coverings if avoidable. When going up or down stairs, turn on stairwell lights and always use the hand railing. Check each step for obstruction, water buildup, wet spots, and damage. Avoid any distractions while utilizing stairways and passageways that would obstruct your line of sight. Before climbing a ladder, inspect it for defects such as broken or cracked side rails or missing rungs. Refrain from using metal ladders around electrical equipment during inclement weather, and using a horizontal ladder as a work platform. Each ladder has a capacity sticker located on its side. Observe this sticker and be sure to follow the written capacity and use limitations. A visitor must request access to the scaffolding through the contractor's representative. Avoid scaffolding use during inclement weather or if the scaffolding is damaged. Never move or alter the scaffolding if someone else is on it, and avoid climbing on the cross braces. Overhead hazards like falling tools are also a big concern. Do not walk or stand underneath overhead work platforms such as scaffolding or aerial lifts. Through taking the necessary precautions, you can avoid becoming a statistic. Barricade types and meaning. Barricades are everywhere on a job site. They're used to block off areas containing dangerous hazards and prevent unauthorized individuals from entering. Their colors are also indicative of their access requirements. For example, you can cross yellow caution tape or barricades with approval from the director's representative or the entity that established it. However, access to areas with red danger tape or barricades is strictly prohibited. Warning signs are also prominently used to caution of risks in the immediate area and provide directions to avoid harm. Keep an eye out for these various types of barricades and make sure you fully understand them before proceeding through the worksite. Regulated work areas. Now let's discuss regulated work areas. Entry to these areas is strictly prohibited because they contain health and environmental hazards not common to all construction sites. These areas are well marked, and visitors must observe and adhere to all signage on site. Regulated areas may include lead, asbestos, mold, heavy dust removal, confined spaces, or high voltage. To gain entry as a visitor, proof of the proper training and the necessary additional PPE are required. Accident, incident, and hazard reporting. Regardless of safety precautions, accidents happen. If you sustain a work-related injury like a minor cut, scratch, scrape, or burn, report it to the director's representative immediately. You will be instructed on how to document the injury using D&C procedures. First aid supplies are available on site for these instances. Ask the director's representative after this video for their specific location. As a construction site changes, new hazards can emerge. Be vigilant and promptly report any observed hazards to the director's representative. He or she can help mitigate the concern, maintaining the overall safety of the job site. Emergency action procedures. As a visitor, it's your responsibility to become familiar with your job site's emergency action plan. Each facility or project location has differing procedures, so ask the director's representative for yours. In general, during an evacuation, stay calm, follow all verbal instructions, walk to the nearest designated safe area, and keep all access roads clear for emergency vehicle access. By being prepared, you can protect yourself and others during an emergency. All right, let's review. As we wrap up today's orientation, let's review some final safety reminders. Always utilize the appropriate PPE when on site. Stay clear of all identified hazardous areas as well as heavy equipment paths and work areas. Do not distract workers from their assigned tasks. And finally, work within the confines of your training. And remember, if you do not comply with the safe work practices discussed in this video or the general guidelines and regulations of the site, you will be asked to leave the site and may be prohibited from entering any OGS sites in the future. With your support, we can keep everyone on the job site safe. Well, that just about does it. Please complete the knowledge check that accompanied this video and submit it to the director's representative. If you have any questions or concerns, he or she is happy to help. Thanks for watching and have a safe visit.